Philippine plan to deploy militia in South China Sea. The Philippines is to deploy maritime militia in the South China Sea amid tensions with China, but politicians in Manila are concerned about the impact on Philippine fishermen. Senator Riza Hontiveros of the political opposition said the militia to be sent to the West Philippine Sea should not be armed, the Inquirer reported Wednesday. Those who should be armed in the country should only be the armed forces of the Philippines officers and Philippine National Police, Hontiveros said. I will really be worried if we proceed with arming fishermen. The Philippine politician said she is worried civilian fishermen could be targeted by China if they are allowed to carry arms. Not only one fisherman could get killed, she said. On Monday, Philippine Navy Chief Vice Admiral Giovanni Carlo Bicordo had said the Navy would send maritime militia to the West Philippine Sea to carry out patrols and protect fishermen, the Inquirer and Deutsche Presse-Agentur reported. According to DPA, Bicordo said he would send more than 200 troops to disputed areas of the South China Sea. China has claimed nearly all waters as its territory under its Nine-Line policy, despite opposition from claimants like the Philippines and Vietnam. The Philippine plans for patrols include militia stationed near the disputed Spratly Islands, and another unit by the Scarborough Shoal, which is claimed by Manila and Beijing. Manila's decision to move forward with the protection of fishermen at sea comes after China's Coast Guard began to increase its presence at Scarborough Shoal in May. The Philippines has also condemned the actions of a Chinese boat in 2019, when the vessel collided with then-sunk a Filipino boat. A Chinese group later apologized for the incident. Chinese activities in the South China Sea continue to draw strong criticism from the United States. Beijing has pursued aggressive campaigns of coercion and environmental devastation, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told ASEAN member states in September. Meanwhile, Japan has joined the U.S. for an exercise in the South China Sea, after engaging in a bit of defense diplomacy with Indonesia and Vietnam that was not welcomed by the region's other key power, China. 3 ships of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, or JMSDF, joined the U.S. Navy for a series of drills in the contested waterway that started Monday and will continue through this week. Even during the COVID-19 situation, the JMSDF continues to work with allied and partner navies, thus contributing to the regional peace and stability and a free and open Indo-Pacific. Captain Nishida Satoshi, commanding officer of the JS Kaga helicopter carrier, was quoted as saying in a press release by the U.S. 7th Fleet. That followed a JMSDF solo anti-submarine warfare exercise in the South China Sea on Friday as it transited through the area, according to a release from the Japanese Ministry of Defense, and then a port call at Vietnam's Cam Ranh Bay to resupply. Japan's self-defense forces are constrained by the nation's pacifist constitution, which prohibits it from settling international disputes by force. But predictably, China looked dimly on submarine maneuvers. Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian told reporters in Beijing on Monday, "We hope that the relevant country will not do things detrimental to regional peace, security and stability." The port call in Vietnam also likely struck a raw nerve in Beijing, which has historically viewed Japan as a strategic rival and has a tense relationship with Hanoi over their competing claims to the South China Sea. Japan has made several port calls at Cam Ranh Bay since the JMSDF did so for the first time in 2016. Although Japan is not a party to the South China Sea disputes, Jeffrey Horning, an analyst with the U.S.-funded RAND Corp., noted that Japan relies on trade through that waterway. The reason why Japan has had these transits, or rotational presence, in the South China Sea specifically is that it sends a message to China, Horning said in an interview. It helps send a powerful message about who China's friends and allies are and are not. A 2020 survey of businessmen, academics, civil servants, civil society groups and media figures spread across the 10 countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, by the Singapore-based ISEAS Yusof Ishaq Institute showed Japan is actually considered the most trustworthy outside country. Nearly 62% of respondents believed Japan would do the right thing for global peace, prosperity, and security. In contrast, just 16.1% of respondents believed China would. If anything, you see some of these countries wanting Japan to play a larger security role, and sometimes get frustrated by the hesitance of Japan to play a larger role, Horning said. He cited the lack of defense exports and freedom of navigation operations, or FONOPS, from and by Japan in the region. But Horning said Japan is still signaling in its own way. Just being able to show for a month that they can have a presence in the region with their assets, and make port at a bunch of friendly ports that also have conflicts with China, is message enough. They don't have to challenge excessive Chinese claims. Last week, the JMSDF, including the JS Kaga, held a training exercise with its Indonesian counterpart in the North Natuna Sea. Japan's new Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide will be visiting Indonesia and Vietnam on his first trip abroad as PM, according to a press conference held at Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs Tuesday. Horning noted Japan's security assistance to Southeast Asia mostly targeted maritime security issues and civilian law enforcement agencies, but Japan signed its first-ever major defense export deal this past August, selling advanced long-range surveillance radars to the Philippines. They held a senior-level security meeting on October 6, but released no joint statement afterward. Beijing has long viewed the Quad with suspicion, and Wang Yi, China's top diplomat, blasted the grouping on Tuesday. What the Quad pursues is to trumpet the old-fashioned Cold War mentality and start up confrontation among different groups and blocs, and stoke geopolitical competition, he said at a press conference in Kuala Lumpur, after meeting with Malaysian Foreign Minister Hisham Mudin Hussein. Wang Yi is currently traveling through 5 different Southeast Asian countries for diplomatic talks. His visit to Malaysia coincided with the arrest days earlier of some 60 Chinese nationals whose fishing vessels allegedly intruded into Malaysian waters.